All right, welcome on into First CSP for another edition of the Sunday Special. Chance for us to highlight things from our collection that are either first, adjacent, or maybe just interesting topics to CSP collectors, etc. And today we're going to take a look at the fifth CSP shape. So, as some of you might recall from our very first episode, and if you haven't seen it, I'll link it on the card at the end of this video when we talked about the letter going out from National in 1970 introducing council shoulder patches officially. There were 3 samples that were sent. We show those in that video there, and they were samples showing the specific authorized shapes for CSPs. There were the 3, and then the 4th shape that was also authorized was one that would mimic the shape of the current, at the time, red and white. So the arc with the straight sides. So those were the 4 authorized shapes for council shoulder patches. And throughout time, there have been either odd shapes and sometimes oversized CSPs, but for the most part, the majority of CSPs have fallen into those 4 shapes. One has certainly become the dominant shape that we all think of for CSPs, but all of them have been used by councils of those 4 shapes over the course of scouting's history since 1970. At some point, and this is where I don't know the history as well as maybe some of you might, certainly you can add information in the comments below, but at some point they did add a 5th shape, and that's what we're taking a look at today. We've got an example on the patch table, and that is the Gulf Stream Council, I believe it's their S28. Yeah, S28. And that is the half round. I love to call this the half moon, although I don't know where I came up with that term. But it is a half round. And if you look at the current awards and insignia guide from Scouting America, you will find, I believe on page 10 or so, the 4 outline images of the authorized shapes for council shoulder patches. And that is the 3 that were the sample shapes from all the way back in 1970, and at the bottom you'll see the half round. So at some point, the half round was added to CSPs as an authorized shape. It has not been widely used. Now, I've been talking with some longtime collectors and kind of historians around council shoulder patches, and we believe the first half round put out by a council post 1970 was done by Cache Valley, and that was their SA10. It just says Cache Valley Council and was created for a traderie, I believe. And it's kind of a blue and white. You can find images on the net. I have an image. I will post it on our Twitter account, which is always linked in the description below if you'd like to see it. We don't happen to own that. And then this patch here from Gulfstream, we believe may be the first regular issue, so intended for uniform wear as the Council CSP, is this S28 from the Gulfstream Council in Florida. I know of a couple other half rounds that were produced by Greater New York. I have a picture of those as well, and I will put those in the Twitter post as well. It's a great place for me to share images, either that I have or that people share with me. I certainly hope at some point we might be able to add that Cache Valley SA10 as the first round that was issued, but we do believe this is a first of sorts as the first regular, because the SA10 being an activity issue and this Gulfstream Council S28 being a first regular to use the shape. I'm almost a little surprised this shape hasn't caught on more, because I would think that it fits the shoulder really well, but as of late, it has not been the dominant shape just yet. Maybe we'll see more of these coming out over time. If you know of other half rounds that have been put out, because a lot of times in the collecting guides, they don't necessarily specify this shape. If you look at the most recent collecting guide next to the S28 and Gulfstream, it does say that it is a half round, but if you go back and look at the Cache Valley SA10 in the same collecting guide, it just says odd shape. It doesn't actually say it's a half round, and I don't know actually if that Cache Valley SA10 was produced before or after the shape was added to the Insignia guide for scouting. So if you guys know more information on that, And I know we have some amazing collectors and historians that watch the videos. Please let us know more about it in the comments. I'd love to kind of collect that history in one place for everyone. But I just thought this was a fun one. I've been seeing this one more recently. I wanted to bring it to you guys on the channel here in the Sunday special. I hope you have enjoyed it as well. We'll be back again tomorrow with another brand new episode of First CSP. Remember, you can always check through previous episodes as well as our specialized playlist that host out the Sunday specials like this episode, or if you're looking for pre-CSPs that predated 1970, we have that as a playlist. If you want to look for patches, CSPs that have known reproductions, where we try and show you the reproduction as well as the authentic, genuine original, we have a playlist for that. So hopefully you guys can continue to enjoy the content here on the channel, and we'll be back again tomorrow. Thank you all for stopping in, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.